Good evening. My name is Kendra White, and I'm the president of the board of directors for Hope Grows. Tonight, you're going to have one of the first looks of the Iris Respite House. On December 4th, 2019, the Rooted Story, LLC, received zoning approval to operate a bed and breakfast at 183 Schaefer Road in Moon Township. The Rooted Story then entered into an agreement with Hope Grows to operate a model of overnight respite care. And so tonight you're going to see what that's all about. Again, I mentioned my name was Kendra White, and I'm also a senior manager for community relations for UPMC for Life. And we have been a strong supporter of Hope Grows since 2014 in supporting their mission to serve the community, educate about what caregiver burden is, caregiver respite, the importance of all of those things as health disparities. And it also aligns with our mission as well. So we have been pleased to support Hope Grows over these years and watch the programs develop and soar and really continue to serve more and more caregivers throughout the years. So tonight I will be joined with the National Aging in Place Council of Pittsburgh as host, and guest speakers tonight will be Chris Heck, who is with the Pittsburgh Airport Chamber of Commerce, April Garrett and Janet Dennison from the Pittsburgh, the Senior Blue Book and the National Aging in Place Council, and Lisa Story, of course, from Hope Grows will be speaking. And after today's event, we will be having a series of speakers that will go on throughout November. So we look forward to having you participate in that. And also tonight, there will be an announcement of the raffle winner for all of you that signed up before July 8th. You were entered into a raffle for a special prize. And we will also have a Q&A tonight. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask for the live event, you should be able to do that on the platform that you're viewing now, and we will be able to vent through those questions and be able to answer them at the end of today's event. Also, later in the presentation, April Garrett will talk to you about how you can get involved with the Healing Tree Donor Wall, and you're going to see that tonight as well. So, I think without further ado, I could go on and on about all the reasons that you should get involved with the Hope Grows and the Iris Respite House, but I'm going to let the speakers talk and tell you a little bit more, and also you'll have a virtual tour this evening as well. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first guest speaker, and that is Chris Heck, who is the president of the Greater Airport Chamber of Commerce. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you very much, Kendra. It's a pleasure to be here. Although virtually, there are quite a few people that are tuned in to see this great event. Again, my name is Chris Heck. I'm the president and the CEO of the Airport Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm honored and blessed to be here today. So thank you, everyone, for inviting me. Lisa and Kendra, especially, the Hope Grows staff, and the board. This is truly a special day, not only for you, but for our community here in Moon Township as well. Respite, a short period to rest, to heal, to relax, and to grow. Just listening to those words offers a short glimpse into the world of Hope Grows, and Lisa Story only knows those words so well. Compassion, a dedicated mission, both are rare these days, but it lives every day here with Hope Grows. We're here to give thanks and to celebrate the hard work and, yes, the compassion that went into the completion of the Iris Respite Home. Congratulations. Let me be the first to congratulate you, all of you, on everything you've done up until this point for this special day. Typically for me, as the president of a Chamber of Commerce, I'm recognizing and congratulating business owners, those individuals that make things or that employ your and our friends and neighbors. But today, I'm here to recognize and to thank a very special calling for caregivers who give so much of their lives to their work. So with that said, I'm here to offer all of our chamber's resources, and I'd like to thank in advance Lisa Story for being a member of our Chamber of Commerce. She's been, Hope Grows has been a member for years, and thank you for that. And again, I'm here to offer the resources available to Hope Grows. And again, from our local business community, congratulations. Even during these difficult times that we're all experiencing, thank you from all of us for everything you do.
Thank you, Chris. And I think, we're so thrilled also. I want to mention that you're joining us tonight. We would have loved to have everyone here in person, but it means a lot to have you join us via this live event tonight. And especially on behalf of Lisa, I know a lot of work went into this, and there isn't anyone that's more dedicated to serving caregivers and developing programs and to continue to sort of be a pioneer in caregiver needs and support. So also important is all of the support of our community partners, which you just heard from Chris. We thank you also for your support and your partnership. And also we have up next is Janet Dennison and April Garrett, and they are with Pittsburgh Senior Blue Book and also the National Aging in Place Council. So welcome, ladies.
Hi everyone, my name is April Garrett and I am the publisher of the Seniors Blue Book of Greater Pittsburgh, which is a free comprehensive resource guide specifically designed for seniors and individuals who are taking care of loved ones. The senior healthcare industry is pretty confusing, it's difficult to navigate, so we serve as sort of a one-stop shop for finding and locating resources within the area. We can help you find services such as elder law attorneys, senior centers, non-medical home care agencies, licensed hospice, licensed home health, different levels of senior housing such as retirement communities, assisted living communities. We also provide tons of educational articles for planning ahead as well as aging well. All of this information is available at your fingertips at our website at www.seniorsbluebook.com, or you can also pick up a copy of our publication completely free at your local Walgreens. I'm also a proud member of National Aging in Place, which is a proud sponsor of this event this evening. NAIPC is a nonprofit organization that is made up of a network of professionals that we generally meet monthly, sometimes more often than that provides information, education, services, and advocacy for supports, planning ahead, and aging in place. You can check us out on our website at www.ageinplacepittsburgh.com. So I wanted to share a quick story of how I came across Hope Grows. 2 years ago, I was actually starting up Seniors Blue Book, and I had come across the Uncorked and Skewered event. At the time, I was not a stressed out or overwhelmed caregiver, but I was a stressed out business owner. So I still can relate to the stress, working long hours, and I toured the gardens and learned about the place. And I realized on my way home, I'm like, wow, this place made me calm down. It made you feel like you left a massage. And so I truly believe in the place. The place is magical. What Lisa Story and her staff has created is just beyond magical. You have to come here to feel it and experience it. And there's such a need for this overnight respite house. We at the Seniors Blue Book, we get calls all the time from stressed out caregivers on a weekly basis. And they're looking for services, and this could be so helpful to them. So I really see the firsthand need of her vision, and I'm so excited to be part of this event this evening. I feel Lisa is truly a pioneer in this industry, and I feel there's so much negativity in the world right now. What better way to give back to our Pittsburgh caregivers and our community? I'd like to take a moment and just introduce my associate publisher, Janet Dennison, who's also my aunt, and she would like to share her personal caregiving story with you.
Thank you, April. Yes, as the associate publisher of the Seniors Blue Book, I was introduced a couple of years ago to Lisa Story and Cindy Glenn of Hope Grows, and I learned all about the wonderful resources that they provide to caregivers. I have personal experience being a caregiver to my 80-year-old aunt with Alzheimer's who was widowed. When I retired in 2007, I drove to Florida to rescue her after 2 failed suicide attempts. I quickly discovered caring for her, both physically and emotionally, was something that I was ill prepared to do. After 6 months of 24/7 caregiving in my home, I realized that she needed to be placed in an assisted living facility and receive proper care for behavior issues and medication management. After a fall in the assisted living facility and suffering a broken pelvis, which left her wheelchair bound, she landed in a nearby skilled nursing facility for the next 8 years until her passing. During those 8 years, I spent time feeding her, personal grooming, talking and reading to my aunt, sharing stories to uplift her spirits and keep her memories alive. Eventually, as many caregivers will tell you, I experienced burnout. I was tired, sad, and had nothing left to give. And in my case, I had no one and nowhere to turn. Looking back now, I really wish Hope Grows would have been here then when I was going through my years of caregiving. It would have helped me tremendously in sharing my experiences with others, learning coping mechanisms for dealing with issues as they came up, and recharging my batteries. When you visit Hope Grows, as April said, you will immediately feel the sense of peace and calm that comes over you while experiencing nature and its healing effects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. That story, for many of you, may sound familiar, right? I think so many times those stories go untold by caregivers because they might just feel, well, it's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to take care of my aging loved one, or, a spouse or a child. And, that's part of the vision. And I won't bore you with the long story of how I met Miss Lisa Story, but at UPMC for Life, we have partnered with Hope Grows for many years on facilitating caregiver classes, and they focus around how to take care of yourself while caregiving. And it's so important to recognize that you need taken care of too. And so when you think about a vision, how many of us have a vision for our lives or a vision for our professional life? I think nobody has a stronger vision than Miss Lisa Story. And she's also very stubborn with that mission and vision, and that, nope, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. And even 5 or 6 years ago, when she had the vision for what we're seeing transpire today with the Respite House, I thought, okay, let's keep it moving forward. How can we support you? How can we make this move along, maybe even faster than one might have hoped? But it's happening, and I'm very, very excited to watch this transpire. So now you're going to hear from the lady herself, Miss Lisa Story. So thank you.
Thank you, Kendra. Oh my gosh, I am so honored and so touched at the wonderful things that everyone is saying today. In fact, I hope I don't get too emotional, because this whole journey has been emotional for me. So while the idea of the bed and breakfast had been pollinating since around 2011, my spouse and I, as the owners of the house, were not ready to transition the home until recently. Those that may not know our history of where we started, there was some divine guidance, believe in that or not, but it came from my father, who died of pancreatic cancer. And he came to me in a dream. And in the dream, I was walking through this beautiful garden and looking up at the sun rays. And every time I saw his face smiling down at me, I just felt in the dream just amazed. And then I awoke, and the words I spoke were "Hope Grows." From there, the spiritual connection continues. It's led me to the path of Hope Grows. And whether you want to call it divine intervention, timing in life, or everything happens for a reason, that spirit continues to call out my name. And while our journey has been personal, and as we began to depersonalize our home and life of 38 years, and we began creating a new frontier for our children and our grandchildren. And then in September, another voice from the wind said it was time to transition and move this mission and vision of overnight respite care for family caregivers. As you are aware, the event, some of you may not be aware, but the event was supposed to be an in-person event, and it was supposed to be held on April 8th. But because of the COVID-19 that happened, we were unable to pursue, this renovation showcase like we wanted to. But I truly believe, though, and everything happens for a reason, and like nature, going with the flow of change is something that's worth paying attention to. So from the start of this vision, it has been a family affair. From the moment that I began digging in the earth during the pain from my father's death, my spouse, my son, and my son-in-laws all became a part of helping to cultivate the land, to now the grandchildren wanting to help plant, water, create, and raise funds for this mission. My favorite stories of the work on the gardens started with the greenhouse when it was designed and built, and when my son also began to clear the thick of the woods in the back, which are now the walking trails of the property. My son Chaz was so connected to my vision that all I had to do was share a design, a plant idea, or a shape of the trail, and he went right to work, knowing what I wanted. He felt the vision as well. The one thing I didn't realize was the impact that this was having on my grandchildren. So I'm standing here behind what was once our family dining room. So during the renovation of this area, and as our grandchildren began to watch the changes that were happening, my one grandson, Michael, put his hands on his hips with all seriousness and said, "Graham, where are we going to eat our Thanksgiving dinners?" So from there, I knew that the transitions were going to be hard, but they were happening. And then I realized how it was impacting our family and the changes that we're up against with giving up our personal livelihood and our home here for Hope Grows. There's one more part of the story that's rooted from decades before Chuck and I even purchased the land here. My neighbor next door, who's an avid gardener, asked back in 2011 when we were creating all these beautiful gardens and putting these outbuildings on the property, what we were doing. She knew we had started the nonprofit, but I shared to her the vision of the overnight respite part. I hadn't really shared a whole lot about it then, but I did with her that day. And she looked at me and said, my gosh, this is an amazing idea. I love it. And then she said, "Are you aware of the story of the land?" And she began to share. And I said, "Well, one thing I know is that we purchased the land from the same couple that they did as well. And there were some other, parcels here that were sold by the same couple. But what I didn't know was they were willed 14 acres here. We were the last 2.5 acres out of the 14 acres that they had owned. But they were willed the properties because they were the caregiver of the woman who owned it prior to them at the end of her life. So for me, the whole vision of this came full circle. And if you don't believe in divine intervention after hearing that, I would hope that you do, because it was like we were meant to buy the land, we were meant to live here, and then do what we're doing. So the mission of Hope Grows really was created as well from a nationwide family caregiver self-awareness and empowerment project. So the study indicated caregivers not only needed, but wanted someone to talk and share their experiences, gain support, and have a place to go for a change of environment and fresh perspectives, among other things. As you enter the doors of the Iris Respite House, not only can you feel a change in energy, but caregivers have shared that there is a sense of peace that they get. The house and gardens are a place for family caregivers to engage in a change of perspective. As one caregiver put it so eloquently, when I walked through that door the very first time, it was like these huge arms just wrapped around me and brought me in. The Iris Respite House is that place for the caregiver to go for that change of environment, a place to relax, to heal, and to grow, a place for both current and past caregivers to engage in an overnight rest. There are so many stories that we hear from caregivers that support this model. Ones that are experiencing burnout and apathy, ones that say, "I'm ready to jump the bridge," ones that say, I don't care if I wake up tomorrow. My life isn't worth living anymore. Or the one that says, I'm so tired that I don't even want to bathe. The caregivers that really, though, tug at my heart are the ones that have lost their identity, searching for meaning and purpose, and wondering how they got to this point. So before COVID-19 happened, the renovation for this area was underway in early January. And a caregiver arriving for a support group here leaned on the counter, looked at me and said, when can I check in? So as we continue to mark the course for the need for this type of support, I'd like to share some of the results of our work. So in 2019, we provided support to 418 families. 200 of those caregivers we call on a monthly basis to check in and just say, hi, how are you? Hope Grows here, how can we help? And with that, we've also documented, quite a bit of an extensive amount of hours and different supports of our programming. But the one that's most impressive of the work here is the 3,277 hours of volunteer support that we clocked in 2019. To me, that solidifies that we have the drive, the experience, and the support needed to move forward with this endeavor. So at this time, I would like to invite into the space Donna from Architectural Innovations, LLC. So come on in. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to maybe stand right over here, that'd be great. Yeah, I think so. So anyway, I would like to introduce the kindness and the generous involvement of this firm. Donna, we worked quite closely with Donna in creating and they created this, but in working with her to get all the designs that we need for this renovation. They provided countless hours of support in helping Hope Grows with this, and it was all done philanthropically. They just were such a huge support in this, and my heart just is so blessed, and I'm so honored that they were a part of this. So how we got introduced to their firm, is a whole nother story we probably don't have time for right now. But when my husband and I first spoke with Jan, who is the owner of Architectural Innovations, and Renee, they both were prior caregivers. So as I kept sharing our mission and the vision of this overnight house, they jumped on board. It wasn't even there wasn't even any questions in it. They just said, oh my gosh, we need to support this. They understood, just how important it is for caregivers to take a break. And I think it's just because they were in that role. And next month, you'll hear Renee with our continued conversation that's going to happen through our Renovation Showcase speaker series. But Donna is here today representing the Architectural Innovations, and we do want to share a little bit of the renderings, the drawings that they did for us. And if you want to talk a little bit about it, Donna.
Okay.
So this is the basement floor plan. So go ahead.
Well, first I'd like to say it is our privilege and our pleasure, and we are very, very happy to be involved in this project. Jan Brim, our owner, as you had said, was a caregiver herself. And my own mother declined over 10 years with dementia, and I know a little bit about what it takes and the kind of effort, and I believe that at the end of the day there's not time for caretakers to take care of themselves, and so maybe that falls to the Iris House. And so it's really our privilege and pleasure to be doing this.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Thank you.
Well, I'd just like to say there's 3 floors, and each floor is going to become totally renovated and totally customized to take care of all the caregivers that come here for their respite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first plan here is this is the basement floor plan, and I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to zoom in, but there'll be also a pre-recorded video that you're going to see here in a little bit that will have some of this in there as well. But the basement currently is unfinished, and it's going to house the employee entrance area and the working kitchen, and then also over here it's going to be in keeping with the spa and salon amenities that we want to incorporate with caregivers. That's going to be transformed into that area down there. And then this is the first floor plan. Not a whole lot is going to change there. Donna, if you want to talk a little bit about some of the changes.
Yes, there's 3 colors you can see kind of representative here. The pink color is kind of a private area for guests, and so there is 1 guest suite on the main floor of the house. The blue area is for the administrative, the people that are going to live here and run the house, and office sort of functions. And then the tan area, whether it's light tan or dark tan, is common areas that are going to be used by all the guests. It's kind of intended to almost become like a spa feeling, where they can really come here and get rid of all the burdens that they have on a daily basis.
One thing I do want to point out is, because it's my home and my husband, Chuck and we live here still, and our plans are to still live here as this is all unfolding and moving forward. We are creating on the first level as well a manager suite. So that is where we will live, and hopefully just temporary. We would love for a manager to be able to run the facility down the road, and then Chuck and I will. We'll maybe do a granny pod out back. I don't know. The plan is to build a smaller home in the back for us, but temporarily though, we're going to be in this manager's quarters.
Well, the upper level, which is where the bedrooms currently are, and where the guest suites, the remainder of the guest suites, are going to be on the upper level. Nice and quiet up there. Beautiful views, because this property is really just almost like being in a state forest, yet you're right in the middle of everything. So it's close in, yet it feels like you're far out in the forest. So all the bedrooms have lovely views and have their own private baths, so you can just go in there and just relax.
So that's the plans, and then the other plan is to finish the gardens in the back, but you'll hear about that in the pre-recorded video. But I just want to just extend another huge thank you to the Architectural Innovations firm and all the work that they did helping us with these drawings. I'm overwhelmed. Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's really our pleasure, and you're the one that's doing the lion's share of the work.
So, well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you
I'm
for
very
having me.
appreciative of that. Yes. So next, I would like to invite Paul and Linda Ransom into our space here. If you'll give us a minute to have them get in here, come on in. So, I'm going to get choked up here, but I hope not too much. First off, I want to give Paul a huge thank you. He's also a contractor, in addition to being an artist with his wife. And he put all the dollars behind all the renovation costs that are needed for this. And, he did that graciously for us. But I am saving the best part of the recent renovations for last here, and I want to introduce the artist of the Healing Tree Donor Wall, which you're going to see here in a minute, but then you'll also see it in the video as well. But why this is so emotional is because Linda is my sister, and this is her husband, Paul. And they graciously designed and sculpted this mural that's on this wall as you enter into the front door of the house to the right. And I wish we could turn that camera around that you could see it right now, but I don't know, maybe it's being flashed up right now, I think. But anyway, Linda has always been a beacon of light for me. She has instilled values that teaches me to never give up. Paul and Linda both are past caregivers for his parents, and they truly understood the need for this type of support, and the countless hours of their donated time is just truly amazing. So the tree is replicated from an elm tree, and it was chosen as the design due to the shade that it provides, because I think caregivers need that shade, maybe not from sun, but just shade from what they're going through. And it is a very hardy and tolerant tree that lives for 300 years or more. And I think that just also represents how resilient that caregivers truly are. But they do need replenished. So in keeping also with one of the Hope Grows core values, that is connecting to nature and the natural world as being therapeutic. That's one of our Hope Grows core values. The elm tree symbolizes healing, and it represents the pillars of the Iris Respite House, which is a place to relax, to heal, and to grow. Each branch also represents the Hope Grows programming that intertwines healing support. The leaves kept multiplying with no number in mind from the start, but quickly grew to 300 leaves on this mural.
350.
Or 350, thank you. Yeah, you're right, I forgot about that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring them into this space to introduce them to you and to talk about this wonderful selfless gift that they have given to this concept and this vision of providing support to family caregivers. So thank you both for being here. I love you. So if you have been inspired today by the rooted story, this is just truly a rooted story, please consider becoming a part of making this overnight house a reality for caregivers. If you are able to get involved at a higher level than the donor wall, the Healing Tree donor wall, which you'll find out a little bit later what that's about, we can have an information packet sent to you along with a tour of the house and the grounds as well. So at this point, I think we're going to jump into the pre-recorded video that has been done. And so sit tight and enjoy. And we'll be back on as soon as that pre-recorded video is finished. So thank you for your attention. Welcome to the Iris Respite House. On December 4th, 2019, the Rooted Story LLC received zoning approval for a bed and breakfast at 183 Schaefer Road. Graciously, they entered into an agreement with Hope Grows to allow the nonprofit to operate a model of overnight respite care, a short break overnight for family caregivers. This overnight house and model are similar to a bed and breakfast with spa and salon amenities. The facility will accommodate the caregiver by providing a place of rest and restorative care for the mind, body, and spirit. Whether the caregiver needs rest, rejuvenation, or emotional support, the Iris Respite House will exemplify the Hope Grows model of support.
When you're caregiving day in and day out, it's very isolating and you can feel very trapped. You feel like you can never get away. So having a place where you can go and get away, and not only just get away, but be catered to, it's amazing. It's an amazing concept.
One nice thing about Hope Grows is they understand your stress as a caregiver. The Respite House is different than a vacation. It really actually gives you some rest and you can help recharge your batteries.
To have a place where you could go and have others who kind of understand the situation, it's just a wonderful thing. And it would be so nice to get out of your own home, but still be close enough if there's an emergency to be able to go back home immediately and help with whatever that might be.
It could just be this weekend of relaxation and rest, and that's one thing I feel like caregivers don't get enough of is rest.
It's kind of like a vacation. It's always good to get away and they can focus on recharging their spirit. You feel like you're more equipped to come back and deal with whatever you have to deal with.
When I came to the house, everything spoke of caring for me, and I started to relax. We can actually be restored when we are knocked down, and this is just one of those things that is provided that people need.
The entrance to the home includes the newly renovated area donated by the Rooted Story, with check-in counter and the Healing Tree donor wall. The room to the left will turn into a door that will enter into the manager's quarters. ADA changes to the entrance and main floor bathrooms will be needed, as well as kitchen changes for future programming, which will include a nutritional component. The second floor renovations include a bathroom addition and changes to current bath and bedrooms, as well as a laundry area for housekeeping. The most exciting area of the work is the lower level, where the unfinished area will be transformed into a working kitchen, a separate employee entrance, and bathroom. In keeping with the relaxation and healing need for caregivers, a beauty station, dry and wet sauna area, and all-purpose relaxation area are being added. With a mission deeply rooted in the belief that interacting with nature and the natural world is therapeutic, the final phase of the plans for the Iris Respite House include the completion of the healing and restorative gardens on the property. Future plans include a horticultural education area, labyrinth, and outdoor chapel, to name a few. So what truly defines the characteristics of a healing garden? It is about creating places for restoration, meditation, and sanctuary. All of the components of the gardens here include just that. It becomes a place for mind, body, and spirit to relax, to heal, and to grow. The first stop on the tour is the Garden of Hope. This garden is a sensory garden with the environment designed to stimulate all of the senses. With many plants and materials throughout this garden, senses are engaged in different ways during the 4 changing seasons. To the right of the Garden of Hope is the Inner Child's Garden. Plants have been replaced and cut back to accommodate an ongoing miniature and fairy-style garden. Sometimes in caregiving, taking time to see the world through a child's eye can help us to experience more joy and peace. Next on the tour is the Garden of Harmony and Peace. Guests enter through the Torii Gate, an iconic Japanese gateway traditionally marking the division between the physical and spiritual worlds. It offers an escape from everyday stress and is a place of purity and contemplation. In the back of the house, there is a remodeled shed, which could possibly be used for the administrative office for Hope Grows. The office currently exists inside the house to the left of the entrance. The operations of the nonprofit will need moved in order for the manager's quarters to begin with renovations. The most recent garden, the Garden of Transitions, is the 9th healing and restorative garden on the property. It got its name from the symbolism that it provided. From birth to death, nature and life are forever evolving, transitioning us to the next part of our journey. Today stands a pollinator garden to promote the ecosystem and diversity of the insect world that is crucial to our agricultural crops, which in turn sustains us as humans. From spring to winter, the plants adapt to its ever-changing environment. If you listen, it becomes the voice of your past to the voice of your future. I am ending the tour where the mission and vision began for Hope Grows, and that is in Pap's Garden. Named after my father who died of pancreatic cancer, the dream from my father in the garden has a symbolic healing story. While the idea of the bed and breakfast had been pollinating since 2011, the owners of the house were not ready to transition the home until recently. Call it divine guidance, timing in life, or everything happens for a reason, this time became clear this past December. While our journey has led to depersonalizing our home and life of 38 years, we begin creating a new frontier for our children and grandchildren. A voice from the wind said it was time to transition. Hello again. So we are back live after watching that pre-recorded video of the Hope Grows Iris Respite House and the Healing and Restorative Gardens. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed seeing it come together. Mike from Loose Cannon Creative, he's been doing our videos for Hope Grows, oh my gosh, since the start of Hope Grows, and he's just utterly amazing, and I think he just really captured just the beauty of the space here. And I'm just really appreciative of his work and support. And I also want to just thank again, everybody that is here today and the National Aging in Place Council for being our host. But I'm also going to now invite April back into the space. If you remember, April Garrett is with the National Aging in Place Council, and she is also part of the publisher of this Pittsburgh Senior Blue Book. And she's actually going to come into the space and talk to you about why get involved and how to get involved, and hopefully that all of you just watching today and sharing what you learned about what we're doing. You can continue that conversation beyond, just the video that you're observing. So April, if you could come on back in and join our space again. I appreciate your support here today, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say for everybody.
Sure. So as of right now, Hope Grows is projecting to open doors to overnight guests in the summer of 2021. Your financial support will help them push this, obviously, the renovations much sooner than later. And there are many ways that you can do this. To make this happen, you have the option to purchase an engraved leaf on the Healing Tree donor wall, which you saw earlier. The tree is in front of me right now. It's gorgeous. It's 3D. It's going to look even more fantastic when it's just covered in leaves. And the leaves are going to be in gold, silver, and copper. So it's going to just look absolutely stunning. And with the sun coming in, it's going to look awesome. So there's different ways and we can talk about purchasing leaves. I also want to give a shout out real quick to National Aging in Place. We had purchased a leaf, I believe last week, and we are honoring all of Pittsburgh caregivers with that leaf. Other ways that you can get involved is to request a sponsorship packet, and they can contact Hope Grows directly or reach out to Lisa or go directly to their website at hopegrows.net, and it talks about different sponsorship opportunities that are available. There are other ways that you can get involved beyond just the Respite House. Perhaps you have interest in volunteering or to learn about more opportunities to get involved with the different events at Hope Grows. And you can easily do that by reaching out to them at hopegrows.net. Their website has different pages set up to talk about volunteering, Project Stitch, sponsorships, and probably to request the sponsorship packet, right?
Yes.
I would think. So right now, if you purchase a leaf for the Healing Tree by July 31st, there is a chance for you to enter in to win a garden party here for up to 8 people. Do you want to talk about that, maybe? It sounds lovely.
It does sound lovely. I don't know what more to say about it other than it's you can personalize it, and whoever the winner is in that drawing definitely can work with us to implement that party.
So I encourage you to reach out to Hope Grows. I encourage you to look into purchasing a leaf on the beautiful wall, and I look forward to watching it progress and watching all the leaves come alive on the wall.
Thank you, April.
Thank you.
So I think at this point we're going to pick the raffle winner. As Kendra mentioned earlier in the presentation or the live virtual event here, that if you signed up to join the event by July 8th, you were entered into a drawing for this beautiful case of wine that's actually behind me here. And I would love for maybe Kendra to join me and pick the winner in that basket. So everybody's name has been entered into this basket, and perhaps we need to shake it up. I didn't do this, so I don't even know whose names are in here. So yes, if Kendra could pick the winner.
Will you read it?
Oh, sure. The raffle winner is Mary Jaworski. So we know Mary quite well, and I think she signed up to watch today. Obviously, she did because her name was in the drawing. Hopefully, she was able to do that. Hopefully, she was able to get on to the live event. Mary's one of our caregivers that has been with us for, oh my gosh, quite a few years. So I'm really excited that Mary won our basket. And so I think at this point, we're going to move into questions and answers, I guess. So yeah, how do we want to do that? I guess, we have no questions? Oh my goodness, nobody out there wants to ask anything?
Well, I have one. How can someone get more involved? Maybe you could repeat that again.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
More information or to get involved in Hope Grows.
Right,
programs.
right. So, Hope Grows as a nonprofit, we're always in need of support. We've taken a really, really big financial hit with the coronavirus lockdown that happened, and Yeah, our May events, if you're all aware, we had a Victorian tea and a tea time golf classic outing, and those were canceled in May, and we were going to reschedule them for September, but the board of directors have been talking with me about the possibility of trying a different type of fundraiser for September because of just, it's still a little scary out there, and we understand that, and I hate to always say, finances are always hard. They are hard for a nonprofit, but more importantly, though, we're always looking, and I'll start with board of directors. We're always looking for board of directors. We're always looking for committee members. We're always looking for volunteers. The gardens here, we maintain currently a half an acre of gardens, and it's a lot to do. So we're always looking for that kind of support. The best way to get in touch is to just get on our website, fill out the contact form, and get on our mailing list. We don't do a lot of emails. I don't think we're spammy in that way. I think we keep it at a minimum. And Kendra, I think that's, we're always in need of something.
Right. And if you can't give of, financial, just giving of your time is just as valuable and important to help further the mission and the growth of Hope Grows and the Iris Respite House.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I see we do have a question that came in.
Yeah, we do. So we have a question here from Denise asking, how can we purchase a leaf?
Very nice, very good. So I believe at the end of the presentation, there'll be a screen that'll come up to say what the website is. It's actually hopegrows.net /donate. And then I think there's another / and then a hashtag healing tree, I think is
that's why there's a screen.
I know, right? Yes, you can do it. It's up on. It'll be online. It's on our website. You can donate through there. And you can also do an offline donation, and it indicates where to send a check. In that way. And then right on there, you just fill in what you want inscribed. It'll tell you how many characters you can put on the leaf, and And I believe too, there's something that if you. By the end of July. So if you do it by the end of July, you will be a part of the first, leaf. What do you call that? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. Where you put the leaf on the tree.
Founding father.
I don't know. Founding fathers. You'd be part of the founding fathers of the Irish Respite House. So by the end of July, there'll be the first grouping that'll get put up. So. Yeah. Good. Anything else over there? Any other questions coming through?
So Kelly asked, are there naming opportunities for the house?
Yes, there are naming opportunities for the house. So, the entire renovation budget, I believe it says on the website where you can donate for a leaf. I think it's like $190,000 is what the renovation budget had come out to. And, we're willing to talk and work with anybody that's interested in being able to donate at a higher level and work with you on naming opportunities for, just the different gardens or even in the different, areas of the house that's being renovated. Yes, we'll be naming opportunities as well.
Okay. Great questions.
Yeah, very good. No others? Is there any comments that you'd like people have commented?
So Chuck would like to ask if there are any naming rights for the bedrooms.
We haven't really talked about that yet, so I don't know if there will be naming rights for the bedrooms, but
it's a great idea.
It is an idea. No, we can call it whatever suite maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to receive. So let's talk.
Well, we've had a lot of really good comments, a lot of amazing comments. For example, this is just so beautiful, Lisa, and so inspiring. Terrific video and presentation. John said, hello, Lisa and family. Your mom and dad are smiling from above today and always. We have many comments saying house is looking awesome, and I am so looking forward to checking in.
Oh, very good. I'm looking forward to be able to have that first group of caregivers come here and stay overnight. Yes. Very nice.
Yes. But, you know, like Lisa said, the best thing to do is go to the website and sign up for the newsletter so that you can stay connected. And, you know, once we're able to have visitors and guests, come take a tour. See this in person for yourself. And we've all said it tonight. It's an inspiring, the walls are inspiring, the vision is inspiring, and the gardens are just second to none. It's a true treasure to have this in our community. And she's stepping away.
Okay.
So we appreciate your support in any way possible. So
Yes.
sign up on hopegrows.net to get more information.
They're right there. I'm sorry, I'm being interrupted because Chris Heck, who is here, wants to take a stack of the donor leaf cards. So, yes. So this is the card that he's looking for. This is our donor leaf card, and it has a bunch of great information on there. Also wanted to tell you too, from May through October, the last Sunday of the month, we host a garden walk here. And we had last month, I think like 9 people come, which was great. And you get to walk through the gardens, ask questions. We had our gardener here to answer any questions. In the end of this month, we will have our bee mentor and our beekeeper here to answer any questions about our new honeybee hives. So and that's going to be part of some education that'll be happening here down the road as well. So, you know, consider coming then at the end of July to tour the gardens. Again, it's the last Sunday of the month from May till October, and it's in the evening from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So you'll have the opportunity to walk around and check out the property.
Mm-hmm. Do they have to RSVP or can they
No,
just show up?
no, they just show
Okay.
up. Yep, they can just show up.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, and if there's, you know, parking's not available in the driveway and in the parking lot, there is the elementary school across the street that people can park at.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. We're about done, aren't we?
I think so.
Any other questions that come through?
Great.
No? Very good. Also, I don't know if anybody got to see these beautiful flowers. They are from our gardens. So we are working on growing cut flowers, and we will have bouquets to sell as well through July into August. And but yeah, that's just a part of the whole nature component that we use here at Hope Grows, and the flower symbolism that we pull into a lot of our programming. But I just thought, I just picked this morning or cut them. They were just absolutely beautiful.
Hence the Iris Respite House.
Yes.
Why did you pick the Iris?
Well, the Iris, if you're on the website, poke around and follow the Iris movement. So the very first Victorian tea that we did, we had a florographer come and talk to us about the symbolism of flowers. And when I went to see her speak, probably about a year or two prior to our first event, she just talked about how she's an artist, and she talks about how she pulls in just different birthdays and names into creating these beautiful flower garlands. And I'm going to try to make this story short, but I went up to her afterwards and I asked her what my father's flower was, or his name, like what did it symbolize and what was the flower. And she said the apple blossom. And then I said, well, his birthday was November 30th, and she said, oh, that's the almond blossom. And the almond blossom symbolizes hope. So if you remember hearing that story about he came to me in a dream, and the first things I said when I woke up was hope grows, I just believe that there's a lot of divine guidance and intervention here. But yeah, so we've pulled in a lot of the flower symbolism. But our very first tea, the florographer that came to speak at that event, she said that the blue-bearded iris symbolizes care. And we had an artist, Michelle Story Mooring, draw us a blue-bearded iris, and just recently, about a year and a half ago, she gave us the copyrights to that iris. So we created from that an iris movement, kind of like the pink the pink ribbon is for breast cancer, and we have pins and we have cards and decals and things that we sell, and we just feel like it'd be great eventually for not just Pittsburgh but the nation to be able to, when we see that pink, or that not pink ribbon, the blue-bearded iris pin or that symbol, that people immediately will go, oh wow, that's Family Caregivers, we need to support that. So yeah, so the iris, and then we just thought it was fitting to just call this the Iris Respite House because of that. So yeah.
Great.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know if there's anything more to say. Did we have any more comments or questions come in? No? Okay. So at this point, I think we're gonna close the event. I know it is being recorded, so people will be able to watch that again if they'd like, or share it. And the pre-recorded video that you saw tonight too will also be separate from that, this live event, so that you can watch that as well. But
and share it with your friends
yes,
and family.
Please,
and
yes, share what we're doing,
partners.
and yes, just please keep talking about what it is that we're doing for family caregivers. I think the more we can educate and advocate and create awareness, I think the more everybody's going to realize that we've got a lot of silent people out there that are hurting, and they do need support. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, but goodbye and thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your support, and we look forward to having you visit the actual house.
Yes.
When time permits.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, check back in, and if you're not on our mailing list, sign up. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then there's a call to action screen now. Yes. Okay, good, perfect. Yay! Good job. Do the new handshake.
Is that the new